Okay, so how do you want to start this, Joel?
You can just roll.
All right, well, yeah, rolling.
Well,
Speed.
you're the host. Introduce the show.
All right, well, this is the first episode where me and
Hi,
Joel
guys.
Yeah,
Walkowski.
Hi, welcome. What's the name of the show?
Hi, welcome to the 20-year-old movie podcast. That's where I discuss a movie with a 20-year-old, Matt Anderson.
Hey, everybody.
I'm Joel Walkowski. If you've listened to this before, I've been a guest a few times. I'm stepping into the co-host role with old Maddie, and we are joined here by our guest, the great Ray Kump. Ray, how
hello.
are
Thank you.
Hey.
I thought this was the inaugural. This is a reboot.
We're rebooting.
Yeah,
it.
it's a reboot.
Okay. Who had your spot before?
Nobody. It was just me
Just you
winging
fucking-
it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Matt had me on, and I've got a cinematic education that's currently going to waste, so I decided I would better exercise that on this here podcast.
Right. Do you want to talk about your knee or no?
Well, just to put it out in the air, I am on opiates at the moment,
Right.
so any tangents, any pro-ISIS talk, any admissions of guilt in the Atlanta child murders, those are just the drugs talking.
I'm a little less creeped out by the opiates than the turkey meatballs taped to your leg.
Yeah.
That's he had to forego his ice machine for this because it made noise.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like turkey's a lean protein, and my knee will absorb the proteins in the turkey through osmosis, and it'll help the healing process.
I hope you grow a gizzard.
I hope
That'd be
I grow.
great.
There are
Get
certain
well.
foods you have to eat when you're like on the mend. Like I have to eat pecans and smoked fish.
Really?
Yeah.
Fancy.
What is that? Does it boost your estrogen or something? What's going on there?
Omegas.
Well, it's just like they stimulate the muscle, the proteins that like help muscle healing. So I have to do that. I have to drink more water.
This is
Oh, yeah, water's important.
Yeah, and water's important. This is also the way you want to start a podcast about movies. So we have Ray here. We have him here to talk about Shakespeare in Love, a film you're very familiar with,
I
right?
watched it for the first time this week. And,
Awesome.
and it was eye-opening. We just jump right. It's the whitest goddamn movie I've ever seen in my life.
It was really white.
Yeah.
It's. I don't mean just in the cast being all white, but there's a certain I don't know, Jewel vibe to the whole movie, or Natalie Imbruglia vibe, like some kind of very just like no stakes. Everyone's just
Yeah.
flopping around, having a good time.
Yeah.
Just carefree. There's no pestilence. There's no no one's shitting all over the fucking sidewalk like he would be happening back then, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, even back then, I was impressed if they had a sidewalk. They're like, people are dying at the plague. What can we do about make our pedestrians' lives easier?
But yeah, so it had a very I've never seen Degrassi High, but I imagine that kind of just whiteness to it.
Yeah, it was very similar. There were a lot of scenes in Shakespeare in Love where Drake was in a wheelchair.
Is there a cripple in that show?
In
Drake.
in
He's the
Degrassi,
cripple.
yeah, Drake gets shot in a school shooting.
Wow. Oh, I misjudged that show, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tries to cover everything.
Oh, okay.
It's weird. It's a Canadian show, but it seems very American.
yeah. So,
Oh, because they did both. Right.
huh? What
There's
you
two
got?
Degrassis.
Yeah, I'm referring to the original one that people used to. Is there a new one?
There's always going to be a Degrassi.
All right. Well, I feel like you're open. Is this like a Buffy thing now? I gotta start watching this. Everyone's gotta tell me. Everyone's you gotta start watching Buffy. It's really good. No, it's on the WB. It can't be. No, it's amazing.
Exactly. I'm kind of a snob. I'll only watch shows from like good media outlets. Netflix, HBO, Showtime for my billions. Otherwise, you're out. So what was your guys' experience watching this film? Let's just put ourselves in the mindset where we watched it.
Well, I got up at 5 a.m.
You got up at 5 a.m. to watch Shakespeare.
Not
in Love.
particularly, but I did get up and I just couldn't sleep. I think I might have been, hungover or something, or I think I ate something very spicy and I woke up with hot burps. And you know how that goes. And I ate some yogurt and it settled my stomach a bit.
5 a.m.
And I just decided, hey, I gotta watch this movie this week. Might as well be now.
Yeah, my gastrointestinal tract has the exact chemistry of Indian food. Time to watch Gwyneth Paltrow's star-making performance.
And she was adorable in it, by the way. I mean, that's sexist, I guess. We can't, do that. objectify her, but she was. I was taken aback. Like, oh, she looks so bubbly, as opposed to Seven when she seemed very sad.
Yeah,
right at the same time.
Very sad in Seven. Last scene especially.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not even talking about the severed head thing, but I'm just saying, like, is this movie 20 years old?
Yeah, it's exactly 20 years old.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and we're about to hit the 20-year anniversary of it winning the Oscar.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, Matt, where did you watch this movie?
I was on my iPad at work. I took 45 minutes of it, there, and then like lunch happened, and then I took the rest of it at home, and it was a struggle.
You didn't watch it on the subway ride home?
No.
You were afraid of getting bullied?
Yeah.
I think like some black teens would see you anywhere, they'd be like, this Shakespeare in love watching, bitch.
Yo, I love Tom Wilkinson. Leave him alone.
Dude, I would skip to the part with Gwyneth Paltrow's titties out,
All right. We're not,
Oh,
seventh
man, we
grade
got a real
here?
wine
Jesus.
Come on,
in the room.
you're on the train? You want to impress your friends? Come on. What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is the breast of the woman who invented goop.
What is Goop? Is that like just baby oil?
No, that is Gwyneth Paltrow's lifestyle brand.
Yeah, but I know she makes it, but like, what? I thought it was like all stuff that she like harvests off her baby.
No. I think you're...
Am I getting this mixed up?
I believe it's not a
I'm not sure.
a parasite host situation is invited to the proximate. I think she's just doing Oprah on a micro scale for like the most basic of basic bitches.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The whitest of the white.
All right. So she's not like taking like a wire brush to her baby's skin. Just,
No, I need to harvest his dead skin so it can rejuvenate the skin of women who work at Williams Sonoma.
It's a nice store. I've been there before.
Yeah, I worked at Williams Sonoma for
Did
a
you?
while. Yeah.
I used to buy my mom Christmas gifts there because she liked to cook and stuff.
Yeah, I worked for West Elm, which is a branch of them, and they recently fired every employee who had health insurance.
I love America.
And they're this like bougie Brooklyn company, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're cute." Yeah, their financial
Die of
maneuvers.
pneumonia,
They're real
bitch.
cute. Yeah, when I worked at West Elm, sorry, we gotta go on a tangent. I worked in the photo studio. All the white people, the photographers, the set builders. We could not hire a black person there for years. I brought it up every meeting, and our warehouse was all black guys. And Sherry, lovely form, but like we would get catered lunches every day, and these motherfuckers would have to watch us eat our lunch. It was
Lunches? What are you talking about?
because it's a production job, so they're gonna feed you.
You're like a baby portrait studio?
No, we shoot pictures of the furniture.
Okay, that makes more sense. I thought you were talking like somehow that you were like, as a West Elm is okay. Now I get it. I'm thinking like you just like a Sears operation where you were shooting baby pictures, but for some reason they were bringing you like party heroes and like and making black people watch you. It seemed weird.
Yeah.
No, that is their corporate mission statement.
See, he's got provolone. If you work hard enough, one day maybe you'll get that.
We're gonna bring in disadvantaged youth, and they'll watch you and learn how to eat asparagus poorly. Yeah, we feel like the black community doesn't have enough food on their face, so they need to observe you.
But yeah,
I watched Shakespeare in Love. I watched it yesterday at 2 p.m. I watched it. I had my wax pen. I had I'd take some oxycodone, and I gotta admit, I set the record for pausing a movie. Like I would pause movies, like, oh, I should call my cousin.
I gotta be honest though, like I didn't hate the movie. I kind of like I thought it was a watchable, cute film.
It was very watchable and cute, and like right from the start, they have like all the Shakespeare. He's in his studio writing,
Right.
And you have you have all these allusions to his other works. You see the skull from Macbeth,
Right.
You see
Yeah.
the chest from I think King Lear, and like it has these like going horns. Everyone's wearing like frilly shirts, so it does have the same aesthetic and tone of an episode of Wishbone. So I thought that was pretty
Just
good.
the hat.
And they
yeah.
seem to make very light play of him abandoning his wife and child for whatever reason. Like they're in Stratford on Avon, whatever they call that place.
Yeah, wherever he retired to.
Right. But why did he leave? They just go, your wife and kids, you left them, fuck them, right? Like it seemed very like no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like a family, they're always going to be detrimental to your creative pursuits.
Sure.
That's why mine is back home in Michigan while I record this podcast.
Yeah. So I mean, They would seem was he a louse? It seemed like he was like he was a debted guy. Like he owed a lot of people money.
Well, he was just overextended, old Will, because he had writer's block. Because like the log line of this movie, if you were to break it down in just a sentence,
Right,
it's great.
and which is what
William Shakespeare has writer's block. He falls in love, and it helps him write Romeo and Juliet.
he gets unblocked. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, earlier he has to fuck anybody, even to get pages out. Like that earlier whore.
Was he fucking that whore?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because he gets mad and jealous, and he gets heartbroken at the beginning.
Oh yeah, because that other guy, that mob boss, is like porking his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if he needs to do this because that's just what he uses for ink?
Just pure fucking
Calm.
yeah.
Oh, baby, get my quill.
Just dipping her asshole. Wait, what am I doing
Take
here?
a black light to this. We gotta read this.
Just fucking. It sounds like something you'd say, like you're trying to talk dirty. It's like, I want to write a sonnet in your shit.
I want to write 28 rhyming sentences.
But yeah, no, it's Tom Wilkinson, his character. He was supposed to be like a mob boss. What was he? What like he was beating
like
up.
starts off like with his boots on the fire, and he's like fucking going after his money. Yeah.
He's torturing Jeffrey Rush. That's how the movie starts, right?
Yeah.
Where the first scene you see him, they literally have this guy hung up by like his rubber boots, and I think they're shoving things in his ass. Right? Was I just imagining that?
Yeah, I think you might have been.
I think there was like a spike or like a wood spike or something. It was like they would lower it and raise it. It was like that dildo chair from Burn After Reading. Remember what George Clooney was building?
I do believe the only person who had something wooden shoved in them during the production of this film was Mr. Weinstein's assistant, but I don't recall that scene.
His big wooden cock. Is that what you're talking about?
I just mean his track record of abuse.
No, I know, but like I got you. I picture him having like a very splintery dick.
Like they did have a lot of fun with the sets on this movie. Like Dame Judi Dench is a.
Oh, that's who that was. I couldn't picture it. Yeah,
yeah. She looking a lot.
she's the Queen of England. If you didn't watch the movie.
She wears like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
So big.
She looks like a conehead had a baby with one of the aliens from Mars Attacks.
Is that really was that accurate? You think of how Elizabeth dressed? Like, would they?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Did they? Was this one of those films where they get it right? Or was this,
I thought so. I mean, I looked up some articles, and I guess they gave it a C plus because, like, they could take liberties with his life, because they don't really know what he did.
What, you mean overall accuracy?
Yeah.
Well, no, the whole thing's a lie. He readapted Romeo and Juliet from an Italian book.
Yeah.
Called Romeus and Julius or whatever the fuck.
What did they get
C
right?
plus. What do you have to do to get an F? You have to fucking.
They were just referencing
Shakespeare
the right
was a
people
person.
at the right time.
In the right place. They got that right. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
that should get you a C plus. What kind of school are you going to?
Well, he had a family and stole this play, but the clothes are accurate.
They did wear dildos in the 1600s.
Yeah.
I usually love Tom Wilkinson, but he seemed to be playing a very castrated version of a tough, like him in the Batman Begins. I like that. I like his. What do you know about poor you Bruce Wayne? You walk a 1,000 miles, meet somebody down there. I love that whole thing he did. That Chicago-esque. And this didn't. I didn't feel any like dark energy from him. I didn't feel intimidated. Jeffrey Rush seemed like a fucking. He was just. I didn't even think it was Jeffrey Rush. He seemed a little like a milquetoast.
Yeah, but that is like the funniest way for Tom Wilkinson to be introduced. Like he's on a torture rack. He owes people money. He's a louse and like.
No, he's the one torturing people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Rush is the one getting tortured.
Yeah, I mean, but that is the way you want to treat a theater owner.
Sure. So yeah, but like, is this an accurate? Like, does that guy exist in real? Did you find that?
I don't know.
Yeah, Matt,
off the
walk
top of
us
my
through
head.
the accuracy.
What year did this take place exactly?
It was like at the beginning. It says 1593, if I'm not mistaken.
That can't be right. That's gotta be a
right
typo.
Because like his lady goes to America, and they hadn't established America yet.
It was
there was there was America kind of, yeah, but there was no. I read about this. There was no
colonies.
What was he doing? He was
going to run Virginia.
Tobacco. There was no tobacco yet.
Yeah, and I love that was with every period piece they do the like kind of foreshadowing, just like Back to the Future had that like little Chuck Berry reference. Is like, yeah, we're growing tobacco. People are gonna love this.
Yeah.
So it's and that was what's that guy's name again? He's a great. I like him. He was a guy from Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Gary Oldman,
Not Gary Oldman. That fucking he played Elizabeth, I think. Gary Oldman, but that went nowhere. But who am I? Colin Firth.
Oh, yeah.
Colin Firth,
He played the fucking
Lord Wexel. He was a total.
Yeah, the kid fucker.
Yeah, they literally just hired every English actor anyone has heard of for this.
Except for the cast of The Wire.
Yeah. Well, this was before. This was 1998. So these were like Judi Dench, Tom Wilkinson. Like these were Colin Firth. Like these were the only names that were known.
Is Tom Wilkinson even British?
He was in this movie, so I got to assume he was.
He was definitely British. He did the Full Monty the year before.
Oh, he was in that?
Yeah.
I got to rethink fucking Tom Wilkinson. I loved him in Michael Clayton. You ever see that?
Yeah, Michael Clayton.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
I realized it wasn't coming out of a plasm. This was some kind of metamorphosis. And, I'm covered in afterbirth. It's great. I love that guy.
Well, I know what our excerpt is going to be.
What was his character in Batman Begins? I can't for
He played not Carcetti.
Carcone.
Yeah, Marconi.
Yeah, that was fucking good.
The Italian mobster.
Yeah. I'm Bob Macaroni.
I invented the radio.
Hey, I'm Bob Macaroni and you're Bruce Wayne. We're gonna stop fucking. Your dad built the hospital. Now he's dead. Blah 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 blah. Someone bring me some Vazavul.
Oh, so Matt, what else was inaccurate?
Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't have been too happy about those ladies being in the play, right?
Well, that seemed to at least have been like an emergent, like an issue that they kind of gotten killed over, right? Like that's the thing. There's some kind of revolutionary police force going around policing plays. Does anyone else like they were the rebellion, right? That guy was saying, "I'm part of the rebellion, and you guys have a woman here." Like, I don't understand. Like, there's just an open. Did anyone else watch the movie? I got one guy fucking lewd. I got one guy just fucking looking up like stats about fucking tobacco.
Yeah, I do have the same like toxicology report as Jordan Belfort right now, so we'll be all right. But yeah, they did take the women in the theater very seriously because I guess acting was like one of the only 3 professions at the time.
Right.
You could be the queen, you could be an actor, or you could be the person who writes the play, like old William Shakespeare. So I did like their level of law enforcement. Like when Gwyneth Paltrow is exposed, they literally show a man's penis and then they put a rat down the back of her shirt.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. That kid, I looked up that. I don't know if you picked it up on it, but that little kid was actually, who did he play? He goes
on to do stuff.
Yeah, he's some playwright. The character, the kid grows up to be. He makes really dark plays about like pestilence and devils and I forget his name though. But so that was a real back of the room reference for fucking snooty wine and cheese parties.
Yeah, well,
I hate this movie.
Well, this was 1998, and it was like America. Like I gave you the theory. We had a lot of like racial problems at the time, so we couldn't celebrate our own whiteness. So we had to celebrate any of Britain's.
Right. And I feel like this was a reaction to Princess Diana being ripped from our collective consciousness. And we had to embrace, because the fucking Saudi Arabia assassinated her or whatever happened.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of theories about that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some people think it's Israel, some people think it's Saudi Arabia. I mean, it could have just been a puddle of oil, I guess, on the floor. But the point is...
Yeah, but that would actually be the Saudi Arabians.
Exactly. Point is that poor, beautiful woman was ripped away from us, and this is what we used to fill that hole.
And that's how we got Shakespeare in Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is white people's, in Hollywood's, favorite things. It's about British culture, and it's also about how important it is to make entertainment and be an actor.
I mean, like, I thought it was kind of cool. Like, I was reading up on it. Like, it's actually a play now, Shakespeare in Love.
Jesus Christ!
Just so they could have a play inside of a play.
Why would you not just go to Romeo and Juliet at that point?
I mean, every single high school does that.
Yeah, but not well. It's like the difference between going to a high school Romeo and Juliet and actually seeing like a Shakespearean company put it on.
Yeah,
like,
but I want to see when I see Romeo and Juliet, I want to be sure that a portion of the profits go to Harvey Weinstein's defense fund.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, look. Nah, I can't even make light of that.
No, it is crazy. Just like Harvey Weinstein's a bully. We all know this.
It's an understatement. Sure.
They stole this movie from another production company. This guy, Edward Zwick, was developing it for years with Julia Roberts attached to it. And Julia Roberts was insistent that Daniel Day-Lewis had to be the lead role.
Oh.
And Daniel Day-Lewis, he said no. Right. And then,
why?
Well, I think
Come on, you saw it.
But this could have, if this movie had been done seriously and it looked into like Shakespeare's process like that, it'd be worthy of the Oscar. And
imagine him just like fucking covered in like sweat with mustache. He'd have to have that like crazy mustache from There Will Be Blood. And he's like, "You're Shakespeare?" "Yes, I am."
The most intense Shakespeare ever. This guy like seemed to like fall over. Like when he got bad news, he'd have to like lean on a pole immediately.
Yeah, who is this guy? Joseph Fiennes or whatever? Yeah, he's Ray Fiennes' brother, I guess, right? Yeah. This guy's a real clut. I looked him up. He's in a bunch of movies I've never seen before, but real lightweight, real nothing.
Yeah,
we can get to that. Can I make one more point on the Zwick thing?
Sure.
So Edward Zwick, his production company is still attached to this movie. Miramax couldn't get 100% of the rights. So when you see his production company shown at the beginning of the film, someone's literally walking in horse dung. And then if you see the Oscar speech for this movie, which I went back and watched, he goes to the podium and Weinstein elbows him out of the way.
Oh, shit. I can find that and pull that up.
Yeah, please do. I'd like to see that.
Joseph Fiennes, it wasn't a great performance, but there is a difficulty in... It's harder to play a historical figure that everyone has some kind of attachment to.
I mean, look.
Definitely a tough spot to be in.
Dustin Hoffman did a great job in Rain Man. So I feel like it's definitely something you can achieve if you have the stones for it.
What is everyone's historical association with Rain Man?
Everyone knows some autistic guy who just doesn't shut up. Everyone look. I'm serious. Like when that nailed that. Like you watch that movie and you're like, I've seen this on the subway.
But if he had to play Helen Keller though, like a specific,
he wouldn't have been as good at counting.
No, because no one's fucking seen Helen Keller, but you've seen an autistic guy spitting all over a piece of pizza. Like it's just, it's part of your.
You're associating Joseph Fiennes playing Shakespeare, the pressure of that, to Dustin Hoffman playing Rain Man's like, well, what am I going to show them that the New York subway system hasn't already?
I feel like he lived up to that, and Joseph Fiennes just completely collapsed under the pressure.
Well, I have a take here because he's playing greatness in this movie. I looked at the performance. I see that Shakespeare's kind of brooding, right? Mm-hmm. He's wearing eye makeup. He wears big shirts, and when he's in like a tough spot, he'll just kind of emote towards the camera.
Right.
So if he's being a genius, I think the performance is actually very similar to Prince's portrayal of the kid in Purple Rain.
Have you seen that?
I've not seen Purple Rain. I love Prince, but I don't watch the films. Yeah, and there's even like a part in Purple Rain that's kind of in this where like Prince undergoes like physical trauma, like with his dad, right? And then he goes on a great writing binge. And Shakespeare has the same thing. He falls out of a window when he's on his first date with Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh yeah, and then he goes home and he gets furiously writing. So like, I thought there were a few similarities there. Yeah, I don't get the whole I'm sitting, I'm chasing you down, I'm trying to fuck you, and I don't realize you're a woman bit. Like I get that they call it out at least. It's like, oh, I must be a moron because you're a woman apparently. But like there's pheromones, you know what I mean? Like there's a certain, when you're like a straight man who's trying to fuck a woman and that woman's there, like there's a fucking chemistry that's biophysicology going on. Like she's putting off scents, you're fucking feeling the heat. And he's just talking as if, I tape my dick up or vice versa. So, like, you can't tell I'm a woman. I just don't buy it. I won't call bullshit on this.
Yeah, and I think that's what the filmmakers were going for.
It's like make a movie based on a bunch of guys who never fucked in their lives. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of speculation. No one knows who William Shakespeare is. He could have been a lord. He could have been a woman.
Right.
He could have been 6 different people, judging on the historical handwriting analysis.
Point is, whatever you are, gender fluid, non-binary, I don't give a fuck. The thing or person you're trying to fuck, you know what it is when it's right there. Like some fucking taping your tits down is not going to change that. All right.
Just like 2 can't say. I'm just follow your nose.
Interesting theory.
Yeah.
That's funny because one of my notes here is I thought this movie was bisexual training wheels.
Why did I say that?
Because it's like if you were like a hard pass, like no, never ever would I fuck a man, like just to see him like do that like with a woman dressed as a man, I would imagine that's got to stir up some feelings in those guys.
I think they made a point to put her hair down when they fucked, right? Like he wasn't fucking her in man mode, right?
Yeah, he definitely made out with her in man mode.
That would have been great. Like that would have been a very bold. They were pussies. Like Miramax, like, oh, we're this avant-garde. Fuck you, because it would have been a great, confusing but erotic scene to like in between like rehearsal like scenes, like it cuts to like them and they're behind the thing and she's like he's fucking her but it looks like it's gay sex but it's not. And she got a mustache on. It would have been something to look at. So, it could have helped a lot of kids who were in difficult, confusing situations. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and this movie, honestly, if you look at it, it didn't do much to help kids.
It's just like, hey,
that's not true.
Do you feel alone in the world? Do you feel like no one knows what you're going through? Well, we're gonna fucking talk about Shakespeare, so fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean, whatever want or desire you have, it's perfectly fine as long as you become the greatest playwright ever known to humanity.
Right.
So express yourself.
Tennessee
if you
Williams?
Yeah, that's true. Tennessee's my man.
I love that shit.
My sister's such a big Tennessee Williams fan. She changed her name to Tennessee Miller.
What? She changed her own name?
Yeah, she goes by that. Tennessee for Tennessee Williams, Miller for Henry Miller.
All right, this is getting a little weird.
Yeah, sorry.
Those are the drugs.
She's a lovely woman. Have I met her before?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
She lives in Detroit.
She doing okay?
She makes her own. She works at Whole Foods. She's going back to school. She makes some awesome.
She sounds like she's making a lot of good
supplements.
decisions.
Yeah, no, she seems like very. I mean, the name thing's very odd, but like, who am I? Like like Stanley Kubrick over here? Kump?
Well, who wants to be
Kump?
I'm Walkowski. Who wants to be like? Who wants to be a Polish woman?
I guess there's nothing good about being a Polish woman. You're right.
Yeah.
Isn't Meryl Streep Polish? Or she just played a Polish woman in Sophie's Choice.
She's definitely played a Polish woman before.
Well, Sophie's Choice, the hey, fuck my kid or fuck this kid, not that kid, or whatever it was, or they'd kill the kid.
Yeah, I think it was kill. Like the fucking was optional,
right? Like they're gonna like pass it around before they like that. I think that was the implication. That's like it's a subtle film. Was it Elie Kazan made that? Was that who made it?
Yeah, that was Kazan.
Yeah, he's not a fucking garish, he's not. It's not Will Ferrell movie, right? So he's not going to be like point out to the kids getting passed around Nazis, but it's just implied. The subtle tinge of it is there, and it makes it more poignant.
Yeah, it seems a little more arty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the subtleties. Like you really don't know there's any child fucking in that movie till 30 years later, when every reference has been tied around to child sex rings.
That's my forte. I'm sorry.
Did you read about Gwyneth Paltrow coming forward about Harvey Weinstein at all?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I did. I forwarded you that. Did you read that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So apparently, what did he do? He grabbed her vagina.
No, he wanted a massage.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, it all starts creepily like that.
But Gwyneth Paltrow, she's not pristine in this movie too. I read a rumor that the script was at Winona Ryder's house. Gwyneth Paltrow took it, went out for the role, and got the role without telling her, and it ruined their friendship.
Did you stole it from fucking Winona Ryder?
Yeah, she stole from a thief.
That's what sent her down that path.
Yeah, she's like Gwyneth Paltrow's on some Omar shit.
Winona Ryder picked it up in a purse at Sears.
And she's like, no one's ever gonna believe Winona. So Winona goes on this. She's not a successful.
Hey, she's right there.
Yeah, she is. We have a Stranger Things screensaver on the TV right now.
So but I was thinking just now, like they took this to bring her back from obscurity. She's been like out of the Beetlejuice, and then what? Like there's nothing in between.
Gwyneth
Beetlejuice,
Paltrow.
Edward Scissorhands.
Right? Okay, Edward Scissorhands. But yeah, what's been doing which one here? I'm saying Gwyneth Paltrow like waylaid this woman for decades.
Yeah. And then, Winona Ryder, she becomes a pariah. She loses her career. Gwyneth Paltrow steals. She gets an Oscar.
Right. And Goop. Let me shave my baby's anus and then sell it to you in a fucking Tupperware case. Fucking Christ. Sick of this shit. What's the last good movie Gwyneth Paltrow even did?
Well, she did have a good daily series on facial creams that I really found enlightening.
So do I.
Matt, well, look up what Gwyneth Paltrow's last good movie was.
I have no reception in here.
Yeah, just like what? I mean, can we think together of one movie she's done? I mean,
I don't think so.
She did. I didn't realize Royal Tenenbaums came out like 2 years after this. And
Yeah.
that was a fun movie. I like.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. But like, what's her contribution? You know?
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, like, I don't see that she's been in anything good. She was in Spider-Man Homecoming.
No, she wasn't.
That was just as her role from Iron Man.
Oh right, yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
She wasn't there for a second.
Okay. Emma, Shallow Hal, Sliding Doors.
Yeah, she really is not trying to get in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
I guess you get an Oscar, and then it's just like, oh wait, she was in Great Expectations. That was her. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing
Oh,
there.
I just skipped that one. I didn't even think that was a good movie.
I didn't think it was. I'm not saying a good movie. It was a
Right.
movie that was made.
Right.
people-
Okay.
So, do you guys think Gwyneth Paltrow is a great actress?
No.
No.
She had this role in Emma kind of made her career, and then she was attached to some odd properties. But
The reason it was so easy for her to act and be good in this movie, which I think she was, but like it was because Harvey Weinstein was actually abusing her like years prior, you know?
Well, I mean, I don't. That was, so the fact that he was like semi-raping her, like made
Yeah,
her
I
good?
mean, like
the old Michael Jackson's dad argument.
I just think like if she's like trying to channel like all this like sad energy, especially at the end, like how easy is that?
But at the end, they actually. The one thing about this movie that is pretty interesting, I just turned my hat backwards. The one thing that is interesting to me is that the kind of like the big bloated Hollywood bureaucracy is pretty effective in this movie. Like that ending where they kind of alluded to 12th Night.
Yeah.
They workshopped that after test screenings. They put that in to make Gwyneth Paltrow's character seem more hopeful, and then it really succeeded.
Which was not even a big Shakespeare. I know like they're all big, but like it seems like I'm not. I don't know all the Shakespeare stuff. I know of it, and like was 12th Night even a big like? Was that what you really want to? Like what was the movie that came out? I watched The Post recently, and they did a whole winking like nod to Watergate at the end of it.
Oh yeah, they did
Yeah.
have a real winking nod. To
Yeah, and
I haven't
it was
seen that
hokey. But I mean, like that okay. But like, is 12th Night really the thing you want to? I mean, like years went by before he wrote 12th Night anyway. It's not like he wrote it right. It's bullshit. It wasn't the next thing he wrote. Is 12th Night really the thing to refer to? What is 12? I didn't know
It's about it's about a woman who dresses up as a man, so that's how they like really made it work well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they thought about that later. Like they had to get a guy in to rewrite the original script, and like Harvey Weinstein probably like he's like get them titties in the fucking movie.
Show me those cupcakes.
Yeah, there's like a scene where like the director in the movie has to step in to kiss the girl. Like that's not how you kiss. Allow me. Remember when Shakespeare, like in the actual movie?
Oh, then Shakespeare does it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does it in the movie, but like that felt like Schwarmy watching it again because it's like.
Yeah.
Picture that now, like Harvey Weinstein.
Right. That's not how you give cunnilingus.
And
Yeah.
it's weird because like this movie is kind of like Harvey Weinstein's like most associated movie because of the Oscar race. Like
Yeah.
this changed the way movies campaigned for Oscars. They turned them into political campaigns.
Right.
Yeah.
And the big thing was handing out VHS copies to everyone, right? That's what they said. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
VHS copies, and then they really worked hard on the rumor that like only the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan were good.
Well, that's true,
Yeah.
though. I mean, like, that is true.
Oh, no, it's not.
That
Have you
movie's
seen it?
not good. That movie's garbage. Was I a good man? Tell me I was a good man. Go fuck yourself. This fucking propaganda. I mean, look, that's a great battle scene. Don't get me wrong, but like the whole movie was dumb. The plot was dumb. Fucking, we're gonna shove these jelly oil grenades in the tanks, and then this fucking 15-year-old like fucking slutty looking girl at the cemetery is all like, "Yeah, you were a good daddy." Like, fuck you.
So Shakespeare in Love shouldn't have won the Oscar. Saving Private Ryan shouldn't have won the Oscar. So if you were an Oscar voter in 98, what would you have gone
Elizabeth.
for? Elizabeth. Oh.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but Kate
Wow.
Blanchett is phenomenal. I can't imagine it wasn't good. But she is just.
What about The Thin Red Line? That was the other one.
That's
All
the movie.
those movies had these same actors.
I want to watch that again because I hated it when I was young when I watched it.
Right.
And I know Terrence Malick is. I haven't seen his other stuff, but I know he's supposed to be a blowhard. And I was watching something with who's like a Christopher Plummer was talking about with the 1492 who they made together, and he was like, "This guy's brilliant," but then like doesn't know when to fucking edit himself. So I don't
Yeah.
know if Thin Red Line's actually bad. I look, when I was in college, I had a situation. I was in a film class, and I was yelling at the guy, like teacher, about how bad McCabe and Mrs. Miller was, and just garbage and just soft-focused nonsense, it's just drivel. And then 10 years later, I was like, was I right? And I watched it. No, it's amazing. I love McCabe and Mrs. Miller.
definitely.
Yeah.
That second watch.
So I would, but I don't want to give it the Thin Red Line. I want to give it to Kate Blanchett.
Okay.
Ray goes with movie he hasn't seen.
Have you ever seen her not be great?
Kate Blanchett? No, she's wonderful.
She is just a fucking spitfire. She's a fucking great chops, and she's just fucking knows how. She's magnetic in a way that Gwyneth Paltrow is just like. She's just there. She's pretty and she's bubbly. Like in this movie, she has some charisma. But what am I watching? What is it? It feels like, what did you say before? Fucking
Wishbone.
Yeah, Wishbone. It's a Wishbone episode.
Yeah, like honestly, I feel like Monty Python and the Holy Grail was like a better depiction of this time period.
Yes. Yeah, it really did feel like this, this is like a musical without music. That's what this is.
Yeah. Play inside a play.
Yeah, it's just very like no one's fucking getting like racially oppressed. No one's getting fucking.
Yeah.
There's no kid with open sores in his legs. Just fucking.
You want to see the real shit.
I want to see some kid spitting on his leg to try to stop it from hurting.
But at the end of the day, it is an examination about how creative people take their own life, and it informs the creative process.
Gotta
So
fuck
I don't know how you're gonna
to write.
work in a scabs on a child's leg.
Well, I think it's a cliche garbage way of because the implication is that like, oh, I can't write these plays unless I live through it. Like that has nothing to do with the writing process, and that's what I think. This has come up before where other writers kind of hate. It's a cliche of writing movies where like you feel like you have to go through this shit. It has nothing to do with the actual process of writing fiction. You know what I mean? Like I don't, actually steal babies. That's not part of my game, but I have jokes about that. It's like
Well, did this film maybe invent the cliche?
No, I think it's been around.
So this was a movie about a subject matter that is close to people's heart, specifically people who vote for the Oscars, and it's at the peak time for the U.S. kind of embracing British culture.
Right.
And then it waged a political campaign to win the Oscars. Like Judi Dench, the dame herself, she won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. And she was only on screen for 6 minutes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
She was fine. I mean, look, that neck fan she had on did a bigger job than she did.
And she had
Right.
great scenes, but like those scenes were made in the writer's room.
Yeah. No, she didn't.
She was
did
like a
fine
one-liner
job.
comic.
Yeah. Hey, his dick's limp, right? Didn't you have a joke about that? Like,
Yeah, it's like, you're not going to take that bet, pussy?
but do you think that this film had the fact that it kind of, it's an American film, embraced, this British culture, wins the Oscar? Does that help? This film came out, what, 98?
98, yeah.
So like 5 years later, when Bush is trying to get Tony Blair to help him invade Iraq, is this a bridge?
Right.
Yeah,
I
like,
see it
yo,
got
we got you
more
that
female
Oscar.
voters.
I don't think it hurts. I think there's a certain level of like, hey, you know, we're all on the same side here. We embrace your like literary culture.
There might be something to that because when Prince Edward took his royal name, he took the name Wexler after the character,
the bad guy
in this movie.
This is their version of like intermarrying now. It's Hollywood is basically like this networking device that you use to invade the third world. And I don't want to elaborate on that.
The third
But like
world
just
being
taking your name from a movie is like so white trash. That's no different from like meeting a 3-year-old in Florida named Deadpool.
This is the one that's actually going to be the king, the William.
No.
Oh, Edward.
Edward.
Who's Edward?
He's Wexler now.
Who is he? Who is Prince? Who are we talking about? He's not one of those two guys. Like, which prince is this? Just some random fucking dumb prince who lives in like fucking.
It's gonna change his name in 10 years.
He lives in the town from the original Office.
That's the point. We shouldn't have to remember him. Fucking change his name all the time.
Google Prince Edward.
Lives in fucking Slough.
Okay. Yeah, Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex. Wow, that's real. He changed his name.
Oh, this motherfucker. Oh, isn't he King of Monaco?
He lives in Buckingham Palace. He's 53 years old. He's the youngest of Queen Elizabeth. Wow. Elizabeth, the second. Wow.
Wait, he's the youngest what?
Of 4 children. He's the youngest son.
Oh, so he's Charles's brother.
I guess so. I don't know anything about these people.
Yeah, Prince Charles is the de facto.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, this makes
Right.
more sense. So he's the one who's probably fucking Diana in the back room.
Getting that Saudi Arabia grease on the road.
Just dressing her up like a man and just fucking her in the playhouse. Just fucking. That's a turn on for me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it was an admission of guilt by the British royal family of their role in Diana's death.
I mean, do you think that we'd remember this film differently if it wasn't for 9/11? Like, did 9/11 change it, or it's all like where it's like, you know, we can't embrace this lighthearted kind of vibe anymore. We need a little more meat.
Well, I just think it's kind of overly white, like bullshit. Rather, I don't think we need to apply the lens of 9/11 to the appreciation of this film. Though I will admit, it
I'd
helped.
like to.
Yeah.
How does it last 3 years and then another 17 after that?
You know, 3 years later, people are going to think of this film differently.
I don't know. I just feel like when you see a guy jumping out of a building, like, because he'd rather like crush his skull on the pavement.
Yeah,
than
I guess
burn
it
to
does
death.
inform how I think at 9/11. Like,
Yeah.
I see those people jumping out of the building, and I'm disappointed they didn't go on to write any plays.
Right. You know, it's like
Can you call the victims of 9/11 underachievers?
Oh my God.
they didn't get done what they were supposed to get done.
Yeah, I mean, they went to work with tasks that day.
Yeah, it's like I'm not trying. I know it's the wrong. I picture some middle manager like showing up like at some hotel where you have like this scrambling and like, look, I'm not Johnson. I get it. It's sad. He's got a wife and a kid, but like someone's got to get this this tax return, this corporate filing. I don't know. I mean, I feel like, am I being too gauche here?
No, I agree. When we talk about the tragedy of that
company
day, we
had
almost
to have
never
done it.
discuss the loss of productivity.
It caused that. Look, to not talk about that is to ignore the implication. Like, you know, like we didn't just lose lives; we lost money. I mean, like money costs lives. You know what I mean? You can talk about, oh, well, it's just money, but like that money keeps kids in school, and it keeps, you know, gives them leg warmers and books, and you know, like without that, you know, who's gonna be a doctor?
Right. That's deep shit.
Winona Ryder really got bamboozled, didn't she?
yeah, she did.
She fucking. I mean, she was great. She was great in Beetlejuice. I loved her in. Was she? No, she wasn't in Edward Scissorhands. Oh, she was. She played a blonde in Edward Scissorhands. Like she could have had a whole nother career. As a kid, I didn't realize it was the same woman.
No, she was the best friend in Edward Scissorhands.
She was the
a
blonde
girl. No, she was a goth girl.
No, that was Beetlejuice.
No, it's the same role.
No, she was that cute blonde. Look it up, please.
Oh, that's just too much.
Edward Scissorhands, just like Edward Scissorhands, Winona Ryder. She was a cute blonde. You don't even remember. That's how Gwyneth Paltrow fucked her career up. You don't even remember how bubbly and sexual she was.
What do you think Winona Ryder
Before
should have had
Harvey
this
got his-
role?
I'm saying, I really feel like she could have played a man better. She could have played a woman better. She could cover both bases. She's a triple threat.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna,
So it's
guess,
Johnny
like,
Depp, Winona Ryder
I want pictures.
of Winona Ryder from Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, if you just Google
she blonde or
image that.
Oh, I
brunette?
see.
She's a brunette. I'm gonna be so happy right now.
You'll fucking you have a bigger chance of running up the stairs with your broken leg.
Oh yeah, she was a sexual creature. You were
There
right,
you go.
right?
Oh, point for Team Kump.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, Matt, is there anything related to the movie in your notes?
I don't know. Did you know Marlowe? Who was that guy that died? Because I thought it was fucking hilarious when that guy thought Shakespeare was a ghost. That really struck me as a very hilarious moment.
It was a chuckle moment. You know, I chuckled. I didn't. No, I didn't. But it was like,
Right.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, if I were a fan of Shakespeare, I would probably love this movie because this movie is nothing more than like winking nods to me.
Oh, that was the whole was? That was the whole Ghost of the Feast thing?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
They planted little Shakespeare characters, so you could really see how the universe in his works that became like the universal language of theater.
This movie was
just
made for
around
every
him the whole
fat
time.
19-year-old in his freshman year of college, fucking some Italian kid from fucking Boston.
I disagree. I think this movie
knew a
was
kid like
made
that.
for sad 46-year-old dental hygienists who want to feel cultured and want to feel like they're in touch and connected to the creative realm.
Right.
I'm just picturing this fat kid I knew who was like, beard. And he cried the day that George Harrison died. He's wearing a fucking Abbey Road T-shirt, and he loved Shakespeare. And I bet he loves this fucking movie.
He just loves everything that's British.
Yeah, he's just one of these scumbags who's just fucking like, the words.
I call them crisps.
He's a good kid, actually. If you're listening for some reason, you're a good guy.
Yeah. He probably used this movie to cling to hope through 9/11.
I mean, that was our freshman. We were in the same class. And we were the day after 9/11. We came to the class, and she's trying to like show us like, look how the media and like remember how they had those rafters that were like look like crosses the day after 9/11 in the papers. She's like, look how the media manipulates things, and we're all like, can you for a second be a person? This teacher like, can you just let us grieve?
And you were in New York, right?
Yeah, I was in Long Island. I didn't give a shit. People. My friend was telling me like, we'll never see the Twin Towers again. I'm like, look, I'm not happy it happened. Now I have a lot of complex views in 9/11. But back then it was like I took it at face value. I think the towers fell. Don't get me wrong. But I'm thinking back then I took it at face value. It was like, we'll never see the Twin Towers again. I'm like, all right, like between you and me, I mean, look, this is not a good thing, but that doesn't matter to me. Like not seeing it, who gives a shit?
TLDR, New York has a lot of buildings.
What does that
Too
mean,
many in
TLDR?
Too long, didn't read.
Oh, okay. I've always seen that. I never knew what that meant.
Yeah, it's a Reddit term.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 9/11, I was around. I was weird. I was trying to be a photographer at the time. This was before I got into it as much. And my dad, like, I just had some shitty camera off eBay. And my dad convinced, because there was a blood drive for people. Well, not blood drive, like an impromptu blood drive for victims. I was like, oh, maybe I should take some. Maybe I should go take some pictures, try to get in the news. And I was eating toast. I was just on a whim. And my dad's like, you should do that. And they convinced me to drive over there. And I took these weird pictures of people. I felt like a real creep. Because like, there were people like, you could tell like this guy worked for the news, but his camera looks really old. And like, I just look like a fucking pervert.
Why is this man eating toast? And they probably, like, they're donating blood. They smell that burnt toast. They probably think they're having some neurologic side effect of donating blood.
Right. I didn't do anything with the pictures. I just felt so embarrassed. I was just fucking
And they convinced you to go over there.
like, yeah, why don't you do
should
it? Like,
do it.
yeah. I was like, I know, that doesn't make any. Like, you kind of think of a whim. Yeah. And it's like,
Ray doesn't want any evidence of his altruism out there, but he's fine with us releasing this episode of the podcast.
But also the idea that, like, I was such a I was a freshman in college, but like, hey, 9/11 just happened. Why don't you go to this blood drive and take pictures? Why didn't I go to the fucking building and take pictures? I could have been a real journalist.
Yeah.
You could have also donated blood. That's another.
Why didn't I? I forget.
They give you orange juice and a cookie.
I've given blood before. I love it.
Yeah, I've received blood donations. Thank you.
You're welcome. I stopped for a while because I got a tattoo, and like I never always forget. And I took Adderall. Can you give blood if you take Adderall?
Yeah, I think it can. Probably
Right,
more
maybe.
than normal.
Okay, cool.
Because your heart is beating so fast.
I love people get freaked out. I love watching it come out of my body, the blood. I enjoy it. It fills the bag up.
I mean, most people don't like watching their blood leave their body.
Well, I mean, it's a controlled situation. It's not going into like some homeless guy's mouth.
Right.
It's in a bag. It's fucking.
And it's the only way you can get rid of iron,
You need to get rid of iron?
Well, I mean, yeah, you should. Or at least my dad told me. He's like, women menstruate. Men need to give blood.
That's the greatest explanation ever. Look, you don't bleed out of your
probably lied
pussy,
to
so
me.
you better give blood.
No, when I needed my transfusions, I needed to take iron supplements. So there is some truth to that.
Man, let me tell you, because you don't leak out your gas. Let me tell you something. I want you to go donate blood because there's iron's building up in your asshole. And
I wish I grew up in the Northeast. He was so kind about it,
In this movie, it's kind of an episode. It's just like clear evidence of like the rich getting richer. Some white people make a movie about something they love. They win Oscars. They get acclaim. And even the set of the Rose Theater, when they were done with it, they just gave it to Judi Dench.
what?
Yeah. So Judy,
What'd she do with it?
She tried to turn it into a theater. She couldn't get it done. So I think she's just holding on to the sets to this date.
But like she owned, like they gave her the property also? Like
No, because it's just flats. Like they did a reconstruction of the Rose Theater that she owns.
But where's she keeping her fucking backyard?
Well, you can stack them all close to each other. She probably has like a massive storage.
Are they really that much? Like I know they call them flats, but they have to be.
No, they don't take up too much room.
Really?
You can probably fit them on that side of the room, I mean, it would be where that table is, just all these flats stacked.
Yeah, for listeners at home, let me just capture the scene for you. There is a table.
It's like a half a room of space.
So that whole room is just flat. That's one thing about filmmaking I never really, like the whole set building thing, I never really got a big education in. So it's just literally like these like fucking paper mache walls.
No, they're real wood. It's like they're made in 4x8 panels traditionally, and they connect very easily. So basically, you lay your flooring first, then you lay your flats, then you put on all your accents, your molding, and this like kind of like banisters, lattice work, and then you probably build in depth for like the seating boxes.
Oh, okay.
And this was probably a little bit more functional than most because like
there's a surround sound theater, or is a surround theater.
Yeah, I think they did more or less. They probably built it. It probably just looks hollow from the back.
Oh, okay.
Like in the arena, if you were to stand in the stage and look around, it would probably look pretty authentic. But if you were to step outside, walk 10 feet, and look behind you, you'd just see exposed plywood, a lot of jacks, and it would be weighed down very heavily.
Okay. Weighed down what, sandbags?
Yeah, a lot of sandbags.
Yeah. Interesting.
No, I mean, the level of sets were pretty good. It looked like it was mostly sets, and they were all well done.
Yep.
And they look very three-dimensional. And I think there were a lot of good, I think they built the back alleys as well, which looked pretty realistic
along the
to
river
the time.
and stuff. Yeah. When he's like doing the chase scene after.
Sure, when he's just chasing down that boy, trying to fuck it.
Yeah, this movie had
That
two
great
chase
actor.
scenes in it.
Yeah. Wait, it was the one where he's chasing down Boyd Gwyneth Paltrow. What's the other chase scene?
He has a chase scene where he's being chased by one of his debtors, I believe.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
And then they also threw in a sword fight. So this movie was very focus grouped. In addition to like that ending being tacked on, they're like, we got it for the boys. When they're dragged to this Shakespeare, we got to give them chase scenes. We need a sword fight, and we're going to put a rat down a trans person's shirt.
That's what you get. That's what you get.
All the check boxes that the audience is craving.
How's that for fluid? But so how was this movie supposed to end? Just Gwyneth Paltrow being like, "All right, it's been cool." Like,
Well, in the first draft, she was a little sadder about Shakespeare leaving, and they redid it to make her feel empowered.
about Shakespeare leaving?
No,
Well,
she's leaving
Yeah,
with
she's going to
Wexler.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Shakespeare leaving her life, rather.
Oh, right. Yeah. You
I think he was like a total, if they couldn't have maintained that level of love for 40 years, there's no way they'd be talking to each other
well,
like
no
that.
one does. I mean, yeah,
Right.
you hump for a while, and then you hope you like the same shows on Netflix. I mean, that's how life works. We're going to keep coming for 30 years?
I just feel like Shakespeare's kind of like fake because he would just find a new muse over and over again because he clearly cared about writing more than women. So
Yeah, I mean, look, they never got the amount of time that elapsed here. They never got past the initial lust phase of their
right.
relationship. It's purely like that thing where your balls swell up because you like someone, and you just fucking get heavy, and you're like, this is love. And like as you get older, the more it happens, the more you start to realize, like, oh, this is just my dick just filling up with blood, just getting engorged. And it doesn't mean this person's not a valid person and like shouldn't be in my life. But you have to kind of, there's a transition period to like, oh, like, my heavy dick is not what's keeping us together. I like your views on the Middle East or whatever you happen to be finding in common.
I love fucking you. You don't support Israel, which is why I like fucking you.
That's I wish you were like my teacher, in sixth grade.
It's not too late.
Giving us the talk.
I could have, look, here's the deal. You're gonna,
Like a PE teacher that's like filling in.
some of you might feel this tinge in your prostate, and that doesn't mean you're necessarily gay. If you are, it's fine, but you might just like things crammed in your ass sometimes.
It could also be an anal fissure.
Yeah.
That's fluid.
I mean, the first time I ever got blown, and I was too blue for the movie podcast, but this girl starts fingering my asshole, and I loved it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was like this movie for me.
And then she started telling me my dick was dry, so she stops blowing me, and then she's just fingering my asshole for 10 minutes. And just saying dirty things to me, like spitting in my ear.
The first time I was blown, the girl gagged and threw up in my van. So, Matt.
I was like downstairs at a party. It went really well. I didn't realize that was on the table.
Real white answer here.
I know. I grew up in the Midwest.
Jesus.
I did too. It doesn't mean you can't puke in a minivan while listening to Prince.
Get some fucking. Did you get? You were in the Air Force, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys have a lot of I don't know how
Sex parties?
What's it like is it like the Navy where you go to like the ports?
Oh, we had a version of that in Okinawa. We had it's called Gate 2 Street, and it was just like Japanese all you could drink bar after Japanese karaoke bars. There was Doug Stanhope talks about the banana lady out there. She chops up a banana in her vagina.
Oh, okay.
And that's out there.
So did you go to sex workers out there?
No, I didn't do that.
Have you ever been to a sex worker?
Some of them, the people I worked with did for sure.
Of course it is. That's why you joined the army or whatever.
I mean, they talked about it. I was just like, I don't know. That's not for me.
So you've never been to a hooker?
No.
Yeah, so you're looking at me. Of course I have. Plenty of times. I mean, not recently, but I used to go. Yeah.
You have a girlfriend right now?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
I do.
That's great.
Thank you.
How'd you meet her?
I don't want to talk about.
Okay.
But do you guys want? Do you guys want to watch this clip with Whoopi Goldberg? She hosted the Oscars that year, but
Oh, she did.
Was this, and she was able to bounce back? Oh, that was Ted Danson who did that.
What was that for? It was like the Screen Guild
I
Awards.
think it was for the Golden Globes.
Yeah. Look, it is horrendous. It's unforgivable. There is something just very funny about just how great he thought it was going to go over.
Yeah, well, it was Whoopi's idea.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
So for everybody listening, what was the story with Whoopi?
So Whoopi convinced Ted Danson to do blackface at an award show she hosted.
Yeah. And they were together at the time, I believe. It was probably one of those scripted Hollywood relationships, but
Do you think so?
Yeah,
No
I
way.
think so.
Look, there's something
No
about
way.
Whoopi never seemed traditionally attractive to me.
Yeah, but I don't see Ted Danson
Although if you
as
think
someone who's coupling up easily. I feel like he's the model of a kind of like free flowing, hard to be attached man. I mean, the dude was Sam Malone, who's like one of the
top tier non-alcoholic,
Heavy dick.
heartthrob.
Heavy
Yeah, that's
dick.
like a man you want to be.
Oh, she was cute in Sister Act, I guess. Yeah, but
She was a nun.
yeah, I mean, like there was some. I'd fucking one. I know this woman in the biblical sense.
She's got the silhouette of a bell.
She's the Aunt Jemima. All right, I'm gonna
What?
cut that out.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna cut that out.
Man, who thought you were going to say the most offensive thing on this podcast? That's plus 2,000 in Vegas.
Do you guys want to watch this Oscar acceptance speech? Who do you
Sure.
think? Who do you think's presenting it? By the way,
Just
give it a guess.
Wait, this is a previous year's Best Actor winner?
No, this is Best Picture for the Oscars, where Weinstein's elbowing out
Harvey Firestein.
Harvey Firestein. No,
Harvey Firestein.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming to the 74th Golden Globe. It's the Oscars. I'm sorry.
close.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman.
Should I just skip ahead to Harvey Weinstein talking?
I guess, I mean, this is pretty bad.
You should
Our
probably include
fantastic
all
crew.
this in the pod.
And who else are we thanking?
I'd like to thank Mark Cooper.
Here we go.
Here he is. Say a few words.
Here's Harvey Weinstein.
Look at this swaggering scumbag.
This was an ensemble film, and it took an ensemble team to make it. I want to thank at Disney, Michael Eisner and Joe Roth, who've given me
I think
great
he's fucked every
latitude and
person
great
he's gonna
support.
list here.
At Universal, Edgar Brofman,
Michael
Ron
Eisner.
Meyer,
Edgar
Stacey,
Brofman.
Nadia Bronson, Chris McGurk. At
Chris
Miramax,
McGurk.
my brilliant Merrill Poster, my head of production, who rocks the universe and makes us look good.
My brother
And
who
then
covers
Julie
up for
Goldstein, who
coming
is
all
the most
over his
persevering,
daughter.
Brilliant executive producer.
He did
to
that?
Bob Osher, to
Sounds right.
Mark Gill and Marcy Granado, who are
His
the
hands are huge.
He probably just
two
leaks
most
come out of his
dynamite
asshole.
marketing
Like it's just,
team.
his body works differently.
I'm getting there. Okay. I
So
don't know.
he
We made
elbowed
this
out
movie.
this guy?
This is a
This
movie
isn't doing
about
much. We should
life
just-
and art, and art and life combining.
Shows
Yeah.
Called Matt.
Joe's
And my
zoning
mom,
out. Joe's
Miriam,
zoning out over
Miriam
here.
of
No, I'm
Miramax,
watching the speech.
Who makes the Jewish mothers look good.
Play him off, bitch.
Okay. And the rest of this guy. Thank you.
Oh, did you like that? Okay. They started playing him off because they have a
Oh.
finite amount of time.
Okay, yo, who I am. I'm fucking Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey fucking Weinstein. I don't know. Do you have any additional stuff to add? Do you want to like wrap up? Final thoughts?
Yeah, I really just wanted to talk about how Shakespeare reminded me of Prince.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it was like an okay movie, but shouldn't have won. I mean, Ray chose a movie he hasn't seen before. Well, like, what would you have voted for, Joel?
Dark City.
Okay.
Well, 98. This is the movie year Rushmore came out.
Yeah, Rushmore.
Yeah, Rushmore, Truman Show,
Yeah,
Big
why was-
Lebowski.
Big
Lebowski came out
Lebowski.
98?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a. I mean, look, I understand why they wouldn't nominate it. It seems like a stoner film if you didn't see it. I get that's it's Coen Brothers in their prime. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
but that's a movie that gets better as you rewatch it. So no one's
Sure.
going to have seen it 10 times before
Right.
the Oscars.
Unless they had those VHS tapes.
yeah.
yeah.
They knew how to campaign. So,
Yeah, so I think this is the beginning. This is an example of Hollywood bureaucracy working well. A bloated production succeeds beyond all measures, and I think this made movies worse for an extended period of time
It is true
afterwards.
because this is like as I was growing up, you had that vibe of like, oh, these terrible movies win the Oscars, and then finally there was a couple years there where like No Country for Old Men won, Departed won. Like there was a couple years where like actually good movies were winning again. It was like it kind of was a reboot.
Well, I think the reason for that is those belong to auteurs. Those are Scorsese, other great directors like this. It's like the decisions come from a series of meetings and
No,
focus
of course,
groups.
but I'm saying I feel like this at a certain point they broke away from that slightly, but like this is like the peak era of like just committees hire like good luck. Scorsese was making movies, the Coen Brothers are making great movies like in this
Yeah.
time period, but like it was when Weinstein had like the peak of his stranglehold on this fucking political system.
And it's also the same people who love British culture also love committees.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, any final thoughts, Matt Anderson?
Do you think the King's speech rips the stuttering guy at the beginning? Because like for him to nail the monologue, that was kind of like an earned moment in the movie.
Yeah, I think the King's Speech was more about a serious affliction that the guy had.
Yeah, and it was real.
Yeah.
I mean, the stutterer guy probably wasn't real.
It was Colin Firth, wasn't it?
I'm sure there were people in the day who weren't that good at talking.
That wasn't Colin Firth
in King's Speech. You're talking about the guy in the beginning of the film,
right? I think Colin Firth he was like in this movie, and he's like, "I've got an idea for a movie.
What about this?
I'll stutter my way to fucking." Do you want a best? You won a best actor for that, right?
He did. In that, he really studied stuttering. He worked out the physics of it, and in this, he really just wore a pearl earring.
Yeah.
You're my property, bitch. I'm saying as the character,
right? No, yeah, I know.
That wasn't just you.
Was that Sir Edward Wessex speaking on Mike? Anyway, thanks for being on the podcast, Ray.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Anything to plug, Raymond?
I'll be hosting an Oscar event. I think it's sold out with Tim Dillon on Sunday.
Where at?
I don't know. Somewhere on Long Island. Some weird thing with old people, and we're like, we're going to be doing the in-between thing, so that's fun.
You can Google it, though, and then you can try to see if you can sneak in, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, if you guys love unmitigated disasters, you can check out that.
Otherwise, you can check out Tim Dillon's Going to Hell. It's on Gas Digital Network or iTunes. It's hosting by Tim Dillon and myself. You can check out my show on Vice Sports. That Happened. You can find it on Go90 or the Vice Sports Facebook page. And there you go.
All right. Well, I'm Joel Walkowski. That's our boy.
Yeah, I'm Matt Anderson. Thanks for watching this with us.
All right. We'll be putting out new episodes every week, and see you next week. Thank you so much.